Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my Godox Sl60w video light that I just recently bought last month. If you watched my Pelican 1650 case review, you'll know that I just recently purchased this light. I actually got it on Adorama for only $100. It was on sale. And I thought, well, for $100, what the heck, I'll give it a try. And let me say, it does not disappoint, especially for the price point. And hopefully I can convince you guys that this is a great budget option, especially for budding filmmakers. So let's get started. First of all, what you get in the box is actually you get the light itself, you get a standard Bowens mount reflector dish, and you also get an AC power cable. Now the power cable is actually super high quality and it seems really resilient. Now it's also supposed to include a wireless remote control that you can actually wirelessly control the light with, you know, change things like the brightness and everything. But unfortunately mine didn't come with that. I'm not sure what's up with that, but those are the things that are included in the box. Now as far as the specs of the light itself, it's supposed to be a 5600 Kelvin daylight balanced light. Now according to some people on the internet, it's closer to 5300 Kelvin, so it's not exactly 5600, it's just a little bit warmer, but I think it's totally fine. And the quality of light coming out of this light is still very impressive for $100. Now, one of the main concerns that I and many others had about this light is actually the build quality. But I have to say, after getting it, I actually don't mind it too bad. Of course, it's not going to be all metal like the aperture counterparts, you know, like the 120D, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's actually pretty well made. It's pretty thick plastic. Of course, I wouldn't drop it from any high places and expect it to be fine, but I don't think it's horrible for the price. And it actually kind of keeps the weight down. As you can see in this B-roll, I'm just using like a regular light stand. I'm not using a C-stand or any of that because it actually can hold the weight of this light pretty well. That being said, some of the hardware components are still metal, like the pin that you pull to actually release the Bowens mount, and the reflector dish is completely made of metal. Now on the back of the light, we actually have an LCD screen, so we can see things like brightness, the channel that the light's on for our remote control, and we can also see the temperature. There's actually a temperature readout on this, and a cool feature is with the dial on the back where you can control your brightness, if you hold it down for 2 seconds, you can actually switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius, so it's great for any videographer. And at the front of the light, we have a standard Bowens mount, so you can put all kinds of soft boxes and other types of light diffusers, as well as light modifiers. I actually purchased a softbox on Amazon from a company called Neewer. Now they're known for having some budget-friendly video gear and that are actually, some of them are reasonably well built. Now this softbox that I bought isn't the largest source, but it's actually really great quality. I'm super happy with it. And it comes with tons of stuff like 2 layers of diffusion and even a grid to control your spill. So it's an excellent value, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out too. So now getting into some of the nitty-gritty details about this light. I was worried that the temperature of the light and how hot it gets might actually be a concern for some people, so I did a little test. I put the light on 100% and I left it for 10 minutes, and when I came back it was sitting at about 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this isn't horrible actually. I stood in front of it for a little bit and it wasn't that hot, so I don't think you're really going to have a problem with overheating with this light. And of course most of the time you're not even going to be at 100% power. Right now for this talking head I'm only using about 10% power, so you can see that this light gives off a lot of light. Another thing that I thought would be an issue is fan noise, and I heard a lot of people talking about the fan noise that this thing gives off. So once again, when I did my test, I left it at 100%, and when I came back, you can hear fan noise at 100%. It is audible. And I put a microphone right up against it, and it's not actually that bad. I only have it at 10% right now, and it's still giving off a little bit of fan noise, but I doubt this lav mic is picking up any of that. So I really don't think you're gonna have that much of an issue with the fan noise. I'm pretty sure this is actually something that Godox fixed themselves. Apparently their older models did have way worse fan noise, and they actually fixed that in these later models, so I would totally recommend trying to find later models of this light. All right, now let's get into some pros and cons of the Godox light. First of all, pros. The biggest pro is the cost. Only $100 and you're getting an excellent video light with a lot of versatility. And that's another thing, is the versatility. You have a standard Bowens mount, so you can put tons of light modifiers at the end of this thing. And I think it's just a great overall value for the money. Now for the cons, of course, build quality. Again, it's not terrible. It's not as good as something like an aperture light or something more expensive like that, but for the cost, I really don't think it's that bad. Another thing is the lack of features. You don't have any battery option on this. You have to run at AC power, which isn't the greatest if you're going to be moving the light around a lot and you want a wireless option. And it doesn't have any added features like strobes or different colors or any of that stuff. It's just a basic daylight balanced light. And I think that's really the best thing about this light, is that it's simple. It doesn't try to get too crazy, and I think it's great for the money. And the last con is the fan noise. Yes, at those higher brightness levels, it does have a noticeable buzz, but it's really not terrible, especially if you're not too close to the light. And I really doubt that a lot of people are going to be using this at 100% brightness. So in conclusion, am I going to be keeping this light? Yeah, I am. I think it's a great option for budget filmmakers. It's super compact, super lightweight, doesn't have the best build quality, and some of the cons I mentioned, but I think for the money, it is just an excellent option. All right, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to pick up this light yourself, show a little support to Godox. I think it's a great light, and you will not be disappointed. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.